So,
Love it.
all right. Should we get into the nitty gritty? Should we nerd out?
Let's do it.
Cool. So what this is, we built this, we built this in, like I talked about, in coordination with Noah. Don't get freaked out. There's a lot. Don't get overwhelmed. It's all good, right? So really simply what this does is it allows you to put in, your properties, and you put in, let's just take property 1 as an example. So, when did you buy it? What's your first mortgage date on the property? Then when's the first payment you make? Property address, property 1, really unique name we came up with there, Greg. Property 1. What'd you buy it for? What'd you put down on it? What's your mortgage on it, right? What interest rate? How long is your loan? AKA how many months? 30 years is 360 months. Most loans are 30-year loans, right? 360 months. And then what's your payment? So this, if it's gray, automatically calculates for you, which is nice. White, you put the information in. Gray, automatically the magic Excel wizards behind the scenes and the little elves move the math around, do it all for you. Guys like me love that. Then what's your net cash flow? What this shows you can put your properties in 1 through 5 through 10 through 15 through 20, whatever you want, right? It's all good. What's your portfolio? What this does is shows you very simply, okay, what's my current cash flow, right? And then what's my current portfolio's return? But like we talked about, well, what happens if I start paying things off? Well, once I pay things off and I don't have this pesky mortgage payment anymore, I go from $1,000 a month to basically 10 grand a month. Big difference. How do I do that as fast as I possibly can? Like we talked about earlier. So this is where C3X comes down to. What C3X stands for is Cosby, Noah Cosby, like we talked about, compounding cash flow. So there's 3 C's, Noah Cosby, compounding cash flow. We're taking our cash flow and we're compounding it towards just one loan. And this does the math for you on that, which is pretty cool. So with no C3X, no Cosby compounding cash flow, right? We pay off all of our loans in 30 years. That's it, right? 30 years. Well, what if all of a sudden we do this drop down and we say, yeah, I want to do C3X, and just, we'll go through the rest in a minute, but I want to do C3X, which is my lowest loan balance. We attack that one first to get that snowball going, like we talked about, right, Pablo? So boom, I click on that. Wow, this property is paid off in 2023, not 2047, 2023. That's a big difference. Holy moly. How many years is that, Greg? My math is rusty. We went from 2047 to 2023. 20 plus years. It's a big deal, right? Big deal. Wait, maybe 15, maybe 18. I don't know. Whatever. How many years? Whatever. We
carry the niner, carry the niner. 24.
We took from 360 months, we paid it off in 60 months. Just by saying, hey, my investment objective is to get to this 10 grand number, 9 grand, 10 grand, 8 grand, 2 grand, whatever your number is, as fast as we possibly can. And if I don't need the cash flow that Greg or JWB or any of the companies that you're working with that give you every single month, I don't need it. I can defer gratification. Let me pay it towards my mortgages, pay it towards one mortgage first. We went from 300, we knocked off 300 months. Get that first puppy paid off. Here's the cool thing about it is it starts to accelerate. Once that first one is paid off, right? Then we have extra cash flow, right? We show this as an example. Instead of netting $100 a month, you net, the total. You're going to net, $800, $900 a month, $950 a month because you don't have that mortgage to pay. Well, then that adds to what I can shuttle down towards that next mortgage and pay that off faster and then pay the third one off faster. And it accelerates and it builds like a snowball. Once you get that thing rolling down the hill, it builds and builds and builds. So pretty soon you're paying properties off in 10 months, 15 months, 20 months, in less than a year. Sometimes you're paying properties off if you follow it long enough, right? So what it did is we could build this whole portfolio. And the reason these are out of order, you see property 2, property 5, property 3, because remember, it's attacking the smallest balance first.
Yeah. Paul,
so this calculator, go ahead.
Can I ask you to zoom in maybe on that lower?
Oh, yeah,
that lower
for
part?
sure. Is that better?
I think so. Let me know in the chat. Right. It just got a little bit blurry. So
yeah, sorry about that.
it's
Yeah.
clear again. All right. We're good. Yeah.
So what this does is it attacks the lowest balance first. So it automatically calculates which one's the lowest balance. Let me take all my cash flow and shuttle it towards that bad boy. And how many months does it take to pay that bad boy off, right? And what's cool is you can do this with 2 properties, with 5 properties, 15 properties. It doesn't matter. It's the principle of the thing. So don't get hung up in the numbers. It's the principle, right? So what we did, remember, let's do the shift. No C3X. I'm just going along. I built my portfolio. Things are great. I'm doing awesome. Following what Greg's telling me. Pablo's cool. I wish I looked like that when I'm 55. Things are awesome. I don't know how old you are. I'm just going to keep going, right? I'm just taking my cash flow and I'm not really doing anything with it. Cool. Now, all of a sudden we throw financial engineering in it. I don't want to wait 30 years to get to 10 grand. What if I take my $1,000 a month in cash flow that I'm getting from this portfolio? Don't get hung up on the number. Don't get hung up on $1,000. Could be 2,000, could be 800, could be whatever your cash flow is. Pay it towards your lowest balance first. What happens? I go from 360 months. You throw C3X at it. Holy moly. We can cut that time in half. We could cut that time by 75%. We can cut that time by 85%. Just depends on how many properties you have and how fast you want to go, right? So deferring gratification goes down to investment objective. Some people can defer the gratification. Some people can't. That's okay. That's why it's important to have some person on your team, like Greg's team, to walk you through that strategy, right? So that's what the calculator does. Fires up guys like me, because what that number means is, holy moly, I'm getting to, 10 grand by 2039 rather than 2047. That's a big deal for guys like me, right?
Amazing. It's amazing, man. Being able, we're just talking about this, right? Working with a team, or you mastering this yourself, you're able literally to just funnel your payments that you were making, the same amount of payments you were going to make, funneling them in a strategic manner, and you're at your passive income goal 8 years faster.
Right.
That's financial engineering. That's really incredible. And then not to mention that all along the way, you have additional cash flow at your benefit, right? That's always a wonderful thing. Now in this model, we're taking that cash flow and we're applying it to the next mortgage, which is incredible. But just simply having that cash flow at your disposal, which does rack up to $3,000, $5,000, $7,000 a month until you get there, is a really wonderful luxury for you as well.